Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to be having a look at what is a pretty dishevelled MacBook Pro. This is a 2015 i7. It had the hinge itself here, the screws have come out. I've replaced them before doing this video just to protect it. It's got some marks here from sellotape, and when we open it up there's paint on here. This is faded and the clicker on the touchpad doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to start by turning it upside down, and we're just going to have a look at the parts that we brought to repair it. New set of feet. I have a replacement battery because you can't get the batteries out of these things. They're glued in. Well, they're not glued in, they're held in with double-sided tape, and you normally destroy the batteries removing them, so I've got a replacement battery here for it. I have a replacement bottom plate should I decide to fit it. Now, I looked at buying a mouse pad and a keyboard separately. It worked out the best thing to do was to buy this. This was £45 in 2021. Comes with a keyboard and a touchpad and is in nice condition. When I was looking on eBay, the touchpad for around £20, £25, and the keyboard to anything up to 30 quid, so it worked out cheaper. Plus I'm refitting genuine Apple parts. So this is what we're going to do. What I will do when I take the other one apart is, after I've refitted it, I will do a bit of the video showing how to take the keyboard off here, how to take the mouse pad off here, you know, because I'm not too concerned if I break something on the scrap. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for even more protection. I'm going to put this on top of here. Now, what I've got off screen is I've got a box that I can set up and line up the screws on, so that the screws are all grouped together. So first thing I'm going to do is take the base screws off. So I'm going to take this off, and then we'll do a little look around at the inside. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to start by removing this, but before we do anything at all, we're going to disconnect the battery. Remove this off here. As I say, this battery is going to be that is disconnected, and unplug the battery. Okay, so we're going to remove the heatsink. We're going to take this little rubber pad off here that hides a screw, and I'm going to start making myself a little line over there. Take this out, lift this off here, one from here, over here, there's one here, and we'll lift this off out the way. And a black one here. 4 screws on the GPU, 4 screws on the CPU. Now there's videos I've seen where people have left these on, but I'm going to remove them for good measures. Somewhat of an ingenious little assembly. This is the way this holds the pressure on the chips without putting too much pressure on. The failure on the touchpad on this was caused by water ingress, according to the person I brought it off. I've just dropped the screw back. So this comes off, we lift it out from this end, and at this end here it tucks underneath this piece of plastic. Now as we can see, there's fluff in there, and the heatsink compound, as we would have expected, has dried out. There's a little bit of moisture there, so I'm going to give that all a clean in a bit, and when we put it back together, we'll put it back together with fresh compound. Right, so reckon the fans are going to have to come out. I would say that we've got a screw here, just trying to work out what fit in there. Now those little Apple Star drives, it's just a case of finding the right size. Unfortunately, I'm not able to turn around and say it's XYZ size because this kit that I've got doesn't have any markings on it, unfortunately. Catches it, but it's not tight. Okay, right, we'll come back to that in a minute. Do what we can. Now I'm going to take a guess that, as you see, right, so we've got a separate board here with the sockets on. Obviously the drive is separate, so I'm going to pop the drive out. That's going to want to dust. I'm going to disconnect this cable here. Now what I'm doing when I put these cables out the way is I'm keeping the screws, a little cover with it, with the cables. So when I come to put it back together, I know what belongs to what. So I'm just going to use my fingernails just to gently lift these up. Comes out quite nicely, I'll be honest. That's lifted up really nice. It feels like there's a little bit of tacky on the bottom of it. And I'll just put that out of the way. Okay, so that has separated this main board from this daughter board. So I'm going to lift these Wi-Fi connections off here, because to me they're going to need to come out, because they're going to cross this fan. So that's taped to that, that's taped to that. The fan isn't really held in anymore. I've got a connection here that just pulls out to unplug, and we'll just lift that off there, and then it looks like on the fan there's 2 more screws. One here, one here. There must be some electrics on the fan somewhere. There they are. I'm not entirely sure how that connector works. I'm just going to get in a little bit closer with a phone and take a photo. Okay, now when we look at it, we don't see any sort of catches or anything on it. That was what I was concerned about, that there might have been a little plastic catch across the back there that we could have broken. I'm going to take the Wi-Fi card out just to give me a bit more room. Okay, it's full of dust. And again, we put the screw down with it. So it looks to me like this is just a friction fit. Yes, it is. I've just moved it very slightly. So I'm going to just get it here and just give it the tiniest little pull. So, okay, so there's the fan. We'll give that a really good clean out later. Pull that over to the right hand side. So we've got this here, has got to come disconnected, and this board itself has got to come out. Obviously we've got to get the fan out the other side. So these are the fan screws. I'm going to put them with the fan. Okay. This connector here has got some sort of catches on it. So again, what we're going to do, we'll take a photo. I'm going to have a closer look. So there's the plug held in there. So it looks like there's a little metal catch here that potentially we've got to lift up over the top prior to unplugging. Okay, there we go, look, real easy. And then one would assume that the plug gently moves backwards. There we go, that's come out really nicely, really easily. So what I'm going to look at now is actually removing this, and from what I can see there's a screw here and a screw here. There we go. As you can see, that is full of dust. So again, we'll give that a good clean. I'm going to put that on my little bench over the side here. I'm going to put the screws back with it that came out of it. Okay, so I know that under here there's some screws. I'm just going to move you around. Get you more centralised on the screen. There we go. Under here, on this piece, there's some screws here. I know this because I've done batteries in these before. 1, 2. Now obviously here is the mouse cable, so I'm going to take the cover off this. And again, put the 2 screws down with the cover, and I'm just going to use my fingers and unplug it and take it off the battery, and I'm going to leave it attached to this because I think the replacement came with a cable. Yeah, the replacements come with a cable, so I don't need to save that. Okay, we're coming apart quite nicely, so now we've got this board here freed up and out the way. There is a connector here. By the looks of it, I would say that that is going to be the keyboard connector. So I want to just take this piece of sticky off the back here. Well, I want to lift the sticky up so we can then have a look at the connector to see whether it's got a little latch here across the back here that we have to lift up, or whether it's just a pull out. So again, I'm going to go in, take a photo, and that way then, so this one actually looks as though there's a little piece of trim across the back there that we might need to lift up, so I'm just going to have a closer look. Okay, there it is. I've just lifted it up. I'm going to take another photo to give you another close-up. And there you can see the trim's been lifted, and there unplugs the keyboard. I'm going to push that back down again, just so it's not vulnerable in any way, shape or form. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the motherboard screws. I've got a pot here that I've just got. Oh, I say I'm going to remove the motherboard screws. I've got to come back to this fan that was fighting me. My screwdriver size was correct. I just wasn't being forceful enough. Again, we know that this connector is one we've just got to give it a gentle pull. Right. We can see that this is the same style with the little metal tab underneath it that we've got to lift up. I believe that this is the monitor connector. So again, ping, and gently, there we go, that's the monitor connector. Okay, so I'm looking here, it looks like the power connector is its own connector. That's nice to see. We've got a connector here, which I would say is the speakers. I'm not sure. Oh, that just pulls up. There we go. Now I'm just looking around. I can't actually see any more. There's one here, look. So I'm going to just take the screws out, and then we'll work our way around and see what we find. I'm putting the screws in their own pot. As I'm taking them out, I'm putting my nail underneath them. Now I've just noticed that that one there was a short one, and these ones I'm taking out across the back are long screws. That's a long one. That's a short one. I've just spotted another connector here that we're just going to lift up. What I'm going to start doing is just feeling to see if the motherboard's free. Now it looks to me and feels like everything's out. Should be very, 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 very gentle. Okay, I've missed a cable here. I want to disconnect that one. And it feels like there's something underneath it. Oh look, I see what we've got. It's the power connector. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to take the power connector screws out with the power connector. Come on. And I'll just unplug the power connector for now. And we'll put that to one side with its screws. And there we go. There is the logic board. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to place this on this sheet of metal. I want to provide it with static protection. And just put that out of the way. Okay, so let's have a look what's on this and what's not on this. This is included, this is included, this is included, this is included. So it seems to me we need to take the screen off and we need to take the speakers out. So let's start with the speakers. I'm going to say that there's 3 screws on them. Two short, one weird, one long. Now, I'm just being a little savvy. So we had a weird one come out of there, a long one come out of there, and a short one come out of there. So I'm going to put them back into there before I put that out of the way to keep it safe. I'll do this one here. I am just wondering, oh there's the wiring for this speaker. You see it there. So again, we've got a long one, another one here, and another one here. There's the speaker, the screws with it. Okay, so we're not worried about that for a minute. What we need to do now is retrieve the screen. The screen appears to have a couple of little rubber covers over it. That's nice to see. And some nice big screws. So I need to find a driver for them. Okay, I'm just going to take these as they are. I'm just going to remove them. There's something here. I'm just looking at what screws are in, the one I'm taking, the one I've got took apart. So there's a screw there. Oh, I see. Look, it holds holds that in place, and there's another one here. So I'm going to take that out as well. Now I'm keeping these screws here because the first thing I'm going to do is put the screen back on. Now I suspect I'm going to need to open up the screen. And there's the two halves. So there's a Retina screen, and there is the base. That part we're going to discard for want of a better phrase, but I'm going to come back to this and we're going to take the keyboard, the battery and the mouse pad apart at the end of the video. What I've noticed is that is loose on this side. So I'm going to take this here plastic trim off, which is broken. Okay, under here you can see there are some screws, and these screws are loose. So prior to reassembling, I'm going to tighten them up. There we go, that's the play gone off them, that's better. Now I've ordered a new one of these, it's not arrived yet. When it comes, it'll just click on.